Hello, everyone. This is Matt, and today I will be talking about the impact of social media on adolescents. So, first off, I just want to say that the impact that social media has on people depends on the character of that person. No two people are impacted by social media in the exact same way. Um, Everyone views and treats social media differently, so it's very, well, quite impossible for them to be affected in the exact same way. For some, social media can help teens gain friendships and a better sense of self, but for others, it can be very harmful for them and could cause loneliness, depression, and just suggest overall harmful behaviors. So, in a study that I read by Rawhide Youth Services, there were a bunch of statistics listed, and so I just listed a couple on this slide that I thought were interesting. So 81% of teens use social media, which includes Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, and many other uh, platforms. 82% of cyber stalkers use social media to find information about potential victims, many of which are underage. Cyber stalkers usually go for people who are under the age of 18 because they are easier targets. And with social media, they are easily accessible for them. Um, 78% of teens have said in this particular study from Rawhide Youth Services that they feel as if they are in complete control of their social media accounts. There were very few who felt that they were unsafe and didn't have control of their accounts. And later in the study, it showed that these teens, do not have as much control as they think that they do. So, consequences of social media in adolescence. Um, One is it creates easier access for child predators. Many child predators create fake accounts on social media to contact teens and young adults. Um, so at this age, people are still growing, they're still learning, and they don't recognize that these accounts might be fake. They might be fake accounts, they have fake names, and these accounts, these child predators, they will text these teenagers and will give them information about themselves, fake information about themselves, and they just switch information and it gains their trust and they learn a lot of private information. Number two is a lot of unhealthy beauty standards are present in social media. I know that there are a lot of social media influencers who um Photoshop themselves and edit like acne and like just a bunch of different things from their body and their face and everything. Um, and these people, they're not always aware that the influencers are doing this. They just look at the comments and see like, wow, you're so beautiful, you're so perfect, and think that this is how they have to look in order to receive compliments. Also, social media is a direct link to cyberbullying, which in some cases can cause a person to self-harm. And as many people know, self-harm can lead to death. And this whole scenario is just horrible, and it's just horrible that it happens. But social media can be a indirect cause or a direct cause to death. Bad behavior is often encouraged. I know that when growing up, and even now, I would see people around my age posting about drinking, doing drugs, and it's like they're encouraging this behavior. And without parental control, these young people are able to see this behavior at any point in time. I know that I was seeing it a lot. So I've talked about negative impacts, but there are also some positive impacts. Adolescents begin to gain a sense of self at this age, which can be impacted by social media. Although it can sound bad and can lead to bad things, it's not always bad. Um, Social media can help people realize what they like, what they don't like, what their personality is, and so much more. It's not all bad. Before social media, many young people would gain their beliefs on all aspects through their family members, which I was one of them. Until I got social media, I believed what my parents thought. But with social media, you're allowed to have your own thoughts, you know? You have more access to other people's thoughts, and you're like, wow, I believe that. I don't believe what my parents say anymore. I believe that. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. Teens can express themselves. With unlimited access, teens can post whatever they want about themselves. Um, I know that multiple people around my age who were LGBTQ plus, they would post about how they were LGBTQ plus, but wouldn't be out in person, I guess. And so they are able to be their true selves on social media sometimes without having to show their true selves in person for multiple reasons. It also creates easier access for people to, sorry, it creates easier access for people to create friends. You know, a lot of people sometimes it's difficult for them to make friends in real life. So social media, it can be easier access for them to meet more people. I know that I've made many friends online, and they're some of the best people that I know. And I know that these are real people. I know that the people you think you're friends with online aren't always real, but when it is real, it can be good. So here is what parents can do. Set rules and limits. I know there's on the setting app on Apple at least, you can set an amount of time for your children to be allowed on a social media app for a certain amount of time. And so this prevents them from staying on longer than what they should or what is considered healthy. You can also turn on privacy settings. I know that many teenagers do not have private accounts. Most of them that I know at least have public accounts. So when you have pri- private accounts, you get to see, you know, who wants to follow your child, you know, and you get to talk together and decide if you really want this person to follow your child. Um, and difficult talks are a must. You need to talk to your child about what can happen if you don't have the correct knowledge of social media, like what can happen, like child predators, cyberbullying, and so much more. Um, so while you need to tell them about this, it's also important to tell them about the positives of social media so that they aren't like terrified of social media. Even though it can be scary, you don't want your kids to fear it because it's a huge part of adolescence. And here are my references, and that's it. Thank you for listening.